to a new season of Penn and Teller Fool Us, a show where when someone is flipping the bird, it usually just means a dove. Now, this season, I've been asked to adjust my language to be a little less British, and I get it. When I say lift, I know you all say elevator. Here, you say trash can, while I would say rubbish bin. You say dentist, and, well, we don't really have a word for that, you know. Now, the whole idea tonight is for our acts to do a trick so flawless that Penn and Teller can't figure it out. Any magician who can fool them earns the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to perform here in Vegas alongside the dynamic duo of magic. And here they are, accompanied by some of Bally's beautiful Jubilee showgirls. It's Penn and Teller! The show business up. Let's get going. Gentlemen, take your seats, drop down to those chairs, and the show can begin. Thank you, ladies. Now it's that time. I present to you our first potential fooler.
Hey, I'm Brian Brushwood from Austin, Texas. And I tour with a punk rock magic show. A third of my show is 100% real. I really do eat fire. I really do hammer a nail in my nose. But at some point, the show secretly transitions. It's not until halfway through cutting off my tongue that people realize, wait a minute, it's a magic show. I remember being in second grade when I saw Penn and Teller's first magic show. I had never seen magic be cool before, and it blew me away. I can honestly say that if there was no Penn and Teller, there would be no Brian Brushwood. This is my chance to honor the people who made me the magician I am today.
Let's meet them. Will you please welcome Brian Brushwood.
Who's willing to do absolutely anything. Who's my guy? Wait, you're screaming? What's your name? Sean. Sean, get on up here. Let's make some noise for Sean. Is it good? See, buddy, let's get you over on this side. Here's the thing. I need somebody willing to do absolutely anything because we are going to do a vanish and commit a crime. Like all good crimes, it involves money. You got 3,000 $1 bills to pick from. Reach in there, pick any stack you want. You happy with that one? You want to change your mind? Last chance. Okay, good. Do me a favor. I want you to riffle through the front of that stack. Make sure all the serial numbers are different. Everything look good? Perfect. Hold it in your hand with the backs on top. I want you to pull off the top bill, just like so. Hold on to that one. That one's yours. The rest I want you to give to these gentlemen, which my lawyer promised me is not technically a bribe. Just toss that on over there. Thank you. Every vanish involves 4 fundamental aspects. So we're going to start by having you print your name nice and neat over the back of that bill, right over the O-N-E on there. Neatness counts. Make sure it's nice and small. Every vanish has 4 fundamental characteristics. You have to have an object selected, identified, lost, and then found. We've selected a single dollar bill. We are identifying it with your name printed on it. Now we're going to go a step farther with the serial number. I want this half of the audience to remember the first half. Read the first half of the serial number nice and loud to these guys.
G0310.
Say it back. Remember that. Second half for these guys.
9213E.
Perfect. Sean, I want you to fold that with the serial numbers on the inside. Fold it in half, and then I want you to fold it in half a second time. And then finally fold it in half one more time so you have a nice little square 1/8 of a bill looking at you. Everything look good?
And square 1/8 of a bill.
Perfect. Boom. 2 aspects done. Have an object selected and identified. This is where stuff gets interesting. We are going to vanish your bill. Now, here's the thing. If you believe in magic, what you are witnessing is an astonishing vanish in which your bill is vanishing into a magical puff of plasma. If you don't believe in magic, you're witnessing a violation of Title 18, Section 333, punishable by up to $100 fine and 6 months in prison. Perfect. Now, it's still there, though, right? We got the ashes, so we're going to chop this up like I'm a messed out Rachel Ray. There we go. I'm going to move these right inside there. Everything's looking good to me. Now we get to the most important part. Sean, do you prefer applesauce or chocolate pudding?
Chocolate pudding.
Dude, man of my own heart. Here we go. We're going to grab this. We'll just go to the... Oh, that's lovely. There we go. I'm going to mix this up here. Some people think I'm doing like a magic ashes switcheroo, to which I say, that's done. Okay, do me a favor. Just taste that. Taste it. Tastes fine, right? Nothing weird? Yeah, do me a favor. Polish that off. Something amazing is going to happen. The faster you eat that, the louder their cheer. Watch. 3 phases down. We've had an item selected, identified, and I would say very thoroughly lost. I think we could agree, Sean, that at this point, it would be extraordinarily difficult for me to retrieve your dollar bill.
Yep, definitely.
I want you to walk around. I want you to rock around to the front of this gurney, place your butt right here. You're going to put your head down at this end, your feet down at the other end, which sort of happens by default. There we go. And I want you to take a deep breath and pull your shirt all the way up to your chest. All right. Hello, ladies. Right on. Relax, relax, relax. You're flexing. And in fact, I want you to rest your arms right there on top. Perfect. And I apologize. This, I got to wash you down. This water's a little bit cold. It's cold. All right. This part will feel a little bit weird. Okay. Hold on. I get inside. There we go. That can't be good. Grab a little bit of... That's weird. Wait, why would you... Oh, no, wait, Sean. If you look inside a balloon, there's something in there. Do me a favor. I want you to pinch that right there. I'm going to try to cut this out. Actually, just there we go. That's yours to keep. Sean, first of all, do you guys remember the first half of the serial number? G0310. What's the second half? Close it up for me, finally. Sean, can you verify, is that your name printed in the middle of the bill?
That's my name.
Let's hear it for Sean. He absolutely slayed it. Fantastic job there, buddy. I'm almost certain that'll wash out. Sean, everyone.
Sean, everybody. Nice work. Nice work. Thank you. Well, that was incredible. Where did you study medicine? Because that was quite something.
The Philippines, right?
I don't know how you did this, but I think I now know how Penn lost all that weight.
That's right.
So the guys are deliberating now. Penn and Teller are talking about what they've just seen and whether they know how it's done. How confident do you feel about falling?
On a scale of 1 to 10?
Yeah.
-5. I just want to make them smile. They're smiling right now.
Oh, that's the worst smile I've ever seen in my life. Looking over at Penn and Teller, I can see they've come to the end of their deliberations, so I'm going to phone out to Penn and find out how well you did. Penn, what do you have to say?
We are huge fans before you even came out here, and the bribe did not hurt. We did psychic surgery, which is what you were doing there, on Conan O'Brien's show, and Teller did the moves to reach in and pull the stuff out of Conan's stomach, and I think you did it better. We do know how that's done. We also, we have a pretty good idea of the serial number. We don't want to give away too much there.
Sure.
But you used a technique at the very end to have him verify the bill.
Sure.
That is one of my favorite techniques in magic. Could you have made it work with your name as well? Or was just Sean's name?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, some people want to see the bill after I'm done.
Yeah.
And are you happy? You're convinced they know what they're talking about? They know what you know, but we don't
they know
necessarily
that I know that they know that we all know.
Well, as long as you know that, then I know that you're happy to know that. Ladies and gentlemen, it was a great act, wasn't it? Mr. Brian Westwood. Nice work, man. Thank you so much. Thank you, man. Well, we need to take a quick break, but don't be fooled, because we will be right back. Welcome back to Fool Us, where the greatest minds in magic collide and it can get messy. Let's read our next act.
Hi, my name is Simon Piero, and I'm the digital magician. And this is my helium app. Digital magic is taking advantage from the best of traditional magic and blending in some of the technology that people are not familiar with. I love any kind of honest reaction. Some people freak out, some people silently just be puzzled what you're doing, and I really love when people say, what you did is clever, and I haven't seen it before. In my magic, I use sleight of hand, I use misdirection, I use basically everything that I learned from traditional magic. The great thing about technology is that it's growing so fast, so whenever new features come out, I will make a magic trick out of it.
We stand on the exciting frontier where technology and magic meet. Our next performer, who lives in Berlin, refers to himself as a digital magician, which was great news for us since we didn't have to fly him in from Germany. We just downloaded him legally. Please welcome Simon Piero.
First of all, it's such a great honor. You invited me over from Germany to perform for you, and I brought my tablet computer with me, because the moment I bought it, it fooled me all the time. So for example, if I go through like this is my tablet. But don't worry, what I learned, it's not broken. Can you see that string? Yeah, can you? So thanks to this, I stop it, I have access to a whole new set of apps. And they're all a bit better than the old ones. So thanks to this, can share some pictures from my last vacation. It's just about 2,000. But don't worry, I won't show you all of them. Just got the overview, and that way I can easily print them. That is me. For the tennis players out here, this is a perfect app to have. If you just bring it to the right size, like this, you can easily use your tablet as a tennis racket. This might even save you some bucks because you don't have to buy a new ball again. You can simply recycle by pushing it back, and whenever you want to, all you have to do, and that's easy to remember, just do a little double tap. Here we go. Everyone complains about the weather, but nobody does anything against it. So I thought, let's create the right weather app. So have a look at her hair, please. Most frequent asked question, no, I cannot take her out of the iPad. But anyway, when I was invited to come here, I thought I should bring you something from my home country and what we are famous for. And now I know you guys, you don't drink, but at least I brought the app with me. And it looks like this for the moment. But well, as you don't drink, I have my favorite drinking buddy with me. Please, are you ready?
Ready to go.
Please. Let's fill it up. Let's fill it up one time, and it's running. Let's taste it.
Yeah. Oktoberfest. That's good beer. I'm going to go and finish this.
So that is my favorite app, but there's another one that is pretty popular these days. It's about a selfie. So what I thought I would do now, I go into the audience, and there are lots of beautiful people here tonight. Let's have a selfie, please. If you could, you two, on a selfie with me, that would be nice. And smile. Make a couple of them to be sure. And I actually created a special edition for you, which I call the Penn and Teller selfie app. So here it is. All I have to do now is choose one of the pictures. That one looked pretty good. But this is my iPad. This is my tablet computer. This is, you can say, the tablet computer of my grandma. It's a picture frame. And this is how I share my pictures with her. Let's get ready. 1, 2, 3. There it is. But now, 1 second, please. I would just like to open it up, because this is not a tablet computer. This is a real picture. This is you and me. And that's now you can see.
Simon Piro, ladies and gentlemen. That was fabulous. I think everyone loved the fact that it's so modern, it's up to date. But are there any old techniques in there that you just updated, or is it all new stuff?
Well, usually I take all the techniques from the traditional magic that can help me to improve my digital magic. So I'm taking the best from two worlds, basically.
Well, it was fabulous. I think that was probably the first digital magician we've had on the show. Penn, Teller.
Absolutely new. Everything's fresh. You can call it film to life, but it's more that the tablet is your magic wand. And I kind of love that everything comes out of that. We were very good friends with Jerry Andrus. And I don't know how important he was to you as an individual, but his ball bearing routine, you owe a lot in the tennis ball routine to that. It's wonderful stuff. But the trick that killed us, which fooled us completely, is that final trick. It's an absolute mind blower, and we had no idea about it when we first saw it. And that's the problem. Magicians watch other magicians. And we watched it, and we were both fooled by it. Then we were able to figure out this brilliant trick at the end. And I would rather not say any more about it, but if you push me, I will. But it's a wonderful routine. I'm telling you, you absolutely 100% fooled us 3 weeks ago. Today.
You take that on.
Simon, let me just check. You're happy that your digital magic, due to the wonders of digital sharing, because they saw it online a while ago, you were busted by that and you didn't fool them.
That's just fair. That's just good.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
That was an incredible performance, though, wasn't it, ladies and gentlemen? Simon, thank you so much. Simon Piro, ladies and gentlemen. Lovely work. Thank you, sir. It's time for a break. When we're back, we'll see some more incredible magic, and later on, of course, a trick by our in-house legends, Penn and Teller. So don't go away. Welcome back to Penn and Teller Fool Us, and let's meet our next contender.
My name's Handsome Jack, and I'm a male model. When I first started to make the transition from modeling into magic, I went to my spiritual advisor, and he said I should take one trick and work on it until I can do it better than anybody in the world. The question I get all the time is, how does a male model find time to do magic? Well, I make the time. People in the media don't take me seriously as a magician. They say I'm just another pretty face. But I say, look around. In the world of magic, I'm the only pretty face. I mean, excuse me for being better looking than Penn and Teller. If that's a crime, I plead guilty.
It's hard to forget how good-looking our next potential fool is, mainly because his name serves as a constant reminder. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, welcome, Handsome Jack.
Hello, Las Vegas! Prepare yourselves for the Handsome Jack experience. Anybody who does not want to get his mind blown out of his ass should leave the room now. All right, you've been warned. Now, when the producers called me about being on this show, found out it's a 60-minute show, so I prepared 1 hour of kick-ass magic for you fine folks. Then I get here, I find out the producers have hired a bunch of other magicians, and I get 5 minutes, because apparently nobody cares about ratings around here. So I even printed up a bunch of Handsome Jack Experience handbills. I was going to distribute them to everybody. Gives you the complete rundown of everything I was going to do tonight. It even tells you everything you need to know about Handsome Jack. Ladies, once you go Jack, you never go back. That's right. So, since we're a little pressed for time tonight, I will just have to tell you about the things you won't be seeing me do tonight. Can't do this one. You won't see me doing, there's a hair in my hat. This is a classic. The Mighty Cheese Whiz. Won't have time to seesaw a woman in two. This is a good one. The Diner's Dilemma. That's a tribute to civil rights. Nope, we just got time for one this evening, and that is, the torn and restored handbill. Perfect. So, here we go. You know what? Don't say anything. I don't care if I fooled you. I'll let someone else win the car. Oh, what's that? The prize is not a car. Oh, well, then I really don't care if I fool them. One of my mottos has always been, magic is fun once you know how it's done. So I'm just going to show everybody how I did that. To do this, I needed a special magician's device called a grappler. I've got a grappler up my sleeve here. I'll show it to you. Now, I had an extra one of those handbills hidden inside the grappler. The grappler is a mechanical device. It shot the handbill out of my sleeve into my hand, and then it grabbed all those torn pieces and yanked them back up my sleeve. Now, it's mechanical, but it's not entirely self-working. It still requires what we magicians call misdirection. I'll show you the misdirection I was using. In fact, I'll tell you what, I will get up on the chair so you can all see the misdirection I was using. Do you remember I took all those torn pieces and I fanned them out like this? I knew if I was to do a very careful, deliberate action like that, you'd all be staring right up here. And while you were all staring right up here, probably none of you noticed when I went ahead and I dropped my pants. Now, once my pants were down, I was able to get my knees hooked together. And once my knees were hooked together, because of this cable that runs up my arm and down my leg, I was able to get this action going on. Watch, it starts down here and ends up over here. Watch. Yep. So you can see, it's not the hands that are quicker than the eye, it's the knees that are quicker than the eye. So this just proves my motto, the magic is fun once you know how it's done. Am I right, people? There is still a problem sometimes you can encounter when you're using the grappler, and that is sometimes the people up close, they can see up your sleeve, and they can see all the torn pieces up your sleeve. And if that happens, well, then you have to resort to Plan B. And Plan B is what we call taking care of business, Handsome Jack style. And that is for you. Handsome Jack, ladies and gentlemen.
fabulous stuff. When I saw the first part, I thought, okay, I've seen this kind of thing done before,
Yeah.
but never with that kind of setup.
No.
So is that the area which you think will confound, perplex, and bemusing?
I just hope anything will confound or perplex them. I don't care which part of it.
Okay. I think they're coming to the end of their deliberations.
Well, Jack,
Yes.
we all know that all we're talking about is you handing this to Teller. There's nothing else in the routine that we are talking about.
Okay.
We also love the fact that you did the little moves that you would need to do to put it together the way that's been done every time we've done it in the past. But then in the last 12 seconds, you made it really hard for us. If that final one out of the grappler had stayed in his hands, there would have been no problem. Because when you do a corner restored newspaper or a paper or anything like that, you end up dirty. Or it's possible that you had some way at the end to show us what we thought was individual pieces, but actually wasn't. If your hands actually came apart and you showed us separate pieces, then you, sir, fooled us.
Jack?
Well, if you ever watch the tape again, you will see I absolutely have individual pieces that I separate. They absolutely were individual pieces.
Sense of security.
It must be nice to be loved for something which isn't just your genetic good looks for once in your life.
I'm not just another pretty
Here
face.
you go. There is your fabulous trophy. He'll be back here working with the boys on stage in Las Vegas. Incredible, wasn't it, ladies and gentlemen? Handsome Jack. He fooled them. Thank you so much. That was great, wasn't it? Great. Okay, after that last act, I need a break and maybe a new tailor because I want to get me one of those grapplers. I want to get that going on. More Fool Us after this. Welcome back to Fool Us. So far tonight, one magician has fooled Penn and Teller and earned a trip back here to Vegas. So let's meet our next contender and see if they're up to the task.
Hello. I'm Kyle Knight. This is my wife, Misty. We are illusionists.
We live here in Las Vegas.
Our neighbors probably think we're a little bit crazy.
We each perform magic separately and together, and we try to do everything we do as a partnership. That's for me.
All right.
We're really married to magic. We're married to the show.
Did it. There you go. I'm the boss for the entire hour of the show, and Misty's the boss for the other 23 hours of the day.
That's why this is in the garage. We have a really unique relationship, and it works for us. You're cleaning that up.
So our next actor, a husband and wife team who know the secrets to a successful marriage. 1, communication. 2, honesty. 3, tying each other up in a bag and throwing away the key on a regular basis. Will you please welcome Kyle and Misty?
Thank you. I'm Kyle Knight, and this is my wife, Misty. Now, we are illusionists, but we try to do things just a little bit different.
You see, rather than just having a box on stage where it's at a safe distance from the audience and we can hide anything tricky that we want, we like to let you get up close and involved examining things so that you can see how fair everything really is.
Or she may just be saying that as misdirection. I'm not sure. But before the show, we actually handed out some rings to the audience members. If you have them, hold them up high. Perfect. I have one final ring here. Jonathan, would you mind helping out?
Hey, I'd love to.
That'd be awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
If you go on to that side over there, yeah. Your job's going to be very simple. Your job's going to be to examine everything.
Okay.
Mainly the rings.
Okay.
The rings. Step around the backside, Jonathan. We're going to place these over top like this. They fit inside here. They lock in place really secure. I've got some hardware in this pan. If you wouldn't mind bolting on the back as quickly and as dramatically as you can. Perfect. Yeah. Just like that. I think he's got the system. Here we go. Hit it. Thank you. Thanks for helping.
Wow, and everything happened so fast. Penn and Teller are going to talk to each other now and see whether they can work out how you did what you did quite as quickly and fantastic as that. That thing in the garage you had there, the kind of jaws of death, that looked terrifying. What are you
Still deciding who's going to go inside it, so...
who gets final say when it comes to that kind of who does what?
I like to think I do, but I know I really don't. So
you're genuinely in charge most of the time.
We're a partnership.
And how did you meet via magic, or were you already together?
we met via magic. I was performing out of New Orleans, and she...
And I met him, and we hit it off and kept in touch, and I relocated from Mississippi to Las Vegas, and we've been together for 12 years.
Well, that's a lovely story. I think Penn and Teller are ready to go.
So many of your escape tricks try to pretend to be dangerous, and that always offends me. What I love about this is it's a topological mystery, and that's what it's presented as, and that's really beautiful. Like the costume change, like the way you go. But I chat too much on this show. I talk too much. Teller's going to explain this one to you. He's drawn a little diagram that y'all can look at, and then maybe Teller will show it to the camera afterwards here.
Well, I do believe that, unfortunately, you've
So now you can hold that up, Teller, so that everybody in the audience can see very clearly how they did that, and to see that clearly. There you go. You can just figure out how it's done from there. Beautifully done.
Misty, Kyle, I don't think you fooled him. I think you're happy with that explanation.
That's absolutely fine, yes.
None of us saw it, but I think we're going to have to take for granted. But what we did see was a phenomenal act, didn't we, ladies and gentlemen? It was tremendous, fun and entertaining. Misty, Kyle, thank you so much. That was fabulous. Don't go away, because up next it's time for Penn and Teller themselves to show off one of their magnificent, world-famous pieces of magic. You would not want to miss it. Welcome back to Fool Us. Now, the only thing crazier than one man catching a bullet in his teeth would be two men catching bullets in their teeth. I know what you're thinking, but three men trying to do it would just be silly, so I'm going to go. And on that note, this is a trick you should not try at home or anywhere else for that matter. Ladies and gentlemen, here they are, the fabulous Penn and Teller.
We need magic bullets and a couple of volunteers from the audience. We need two people who know guns, preferably handguns, preferably .357 Magnums. Somebody who's very strong in the Second Amendment to our Constitution, and it was never in any way affiliated with the United States Postal Service. Who knows guns? How do you know guns there, sir? Security. Work security, do you know revolvers?
Yes, sir.
Right up here, would you please, sir? One more person with the same qualifications. How do you know guns there?
I was in the military, and I have several weapons at home.
Military? Right up here, would you please, sir? Wonderful. Only two rules for the gentleman on stage. Rule number one, try to use the microphone when you speak. And rule number two, do not cross that yellow line. What's your name, please, sir?
Dane.
Dane, to the microphone there. Dane, I'm going to move you right over here if you'll forgive me. Just don't cross that yellow line, Dane. What's your name, please, sir?
My name's Chris.
Chris, and what branch of the military, Chris?
Army.
Army. Thank you so much for your service.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We have Dane, we have Chris, we do the magic bullets. We start with bullets that aren't magic at all. Just ordinary purse of bullets. Dane, picking up the bullets from my purse, please. Chris, anyone from Teller's purse. Examine those bullets carefully. Is that a real bullet over there, Chris?
Yes, sir.
Is that a real bullet there, Dane?
Absolutely.
Give you a sign the bullet, just the tip. Make sure every quadrant has something, I don't care what, as long as you can recognize it from every angle. Filigrees, you illuminate the first letter. You'll recognize that when you see it again, won't you, Dane?
Yep.
As you can see, we have a slightly larger canvas, as it were, in the casing. And these gentlemen to draw whatever they want on that casing. What do you want to draw on the casing there, Chris?
I'll just draw a flower on there.
Flower. What do you want to draw on the casing there, Dave?
How about a lightning bolt?
A lightning bolt, taking care of business like Elvis. Can you draw your blue lightning bolt right there? Nicely done. So you see under his initials, he's drawn a lightning bolt. It's primitive, but shows a great deal of promise there. You can see it. And I'm sure he's drawn a fine flower. Beautiful flower, beautiful flower. Now, I doubt either of you is a glazier, but all the same, you examine that piece of glass. It's your piece of glass. Even tap with a microphone makes a sound man crazy. Is that a real piece of glass over there, Chris?
Yes, sir.
Real piece of glass there, Dane?
Yes, sir.
Here's what's going to happen to this bullet, which is signed on the tip by Dane, with the lightning bolt drawn in the casing by Dane. We're going to move the tip, just the part that travels, the copper-covered lead part, to that side of the stage. Take that bullet, which is signed on the tip by Chris, with a flower drawn in the casing by Chris. We're going to move the tip, just the part that travels, the copper-covered lead part, to this side of the stage. But we're going to do that all without anyone crossing that yellow line. It's called the magic bullets. To the magic bullets, we need magic wands. And we're using Colt Python 357 Magnum magic wands. It's exactly the way you can buy any gun shop with the one addition of a laser sight, which only a nut would put on a handgun. I'd like you gentlemen to examine these weapons. Please check that out, would you please, Dane? Make sure the barrel has not been obstructed in any way. Is that a real gun over there, Chris?
Yes, sir.
Is that a real gun there, Dane?
Yes.
Because others have handled these weapons, we're going to give a quick once-over. And now we're going to load them up. Step right beside me, would you please? Dan, I want you to see your initials. I want you to see if I rotate that, your lightning bolt. See that right there?
Yep.
Put your finger on the top of that, would you please, Dan? See my hands empty?
Yep.
It's going to rotate and click it. So next round fired. And Teller and Chris are doing similarly on the other side of the stage. Now, Dane and Chris, I suggest you keep your eye on these guns because these bullets, they have your names on them, don't they? Yeah, they really do. Now, Chris, the next hunk of the show gets a little hairy. I want to get you out of harm's way. If you kind enough, please, Chris, to the bottom of the stairs there. We'll set you up right there. Right to the bottom of the stairs over there, Chris. Dan, you've already guessed. Right over the symmetrical position, right over here at the bottom of the stairs. There's a moment in this trick that's a wee bit loud. We're going to warn you before that moment. I'll say the word ears. I'll say it once. I'll say it loudly. I'll say it clearly. When I say the word ears, please put your fingers in your ears. Nothing fancy. Just like this. Just like if Clay Aiken were singing on stage or something. And don't be cavalier about this. Your hearing is very precious. You don't want to jeopardize it for the likes of us. Now, a lot of people are very frightened by handguns. There are 4 rules. If everyone were to follow these 4 rules, no one would ever be hurt by a handgun accidentally. Rule number 1, always treat every gun as though it were loaded as you yourself have checked it. Rule number 2, always be sure of your target. Rule number 3, keep your finger off the trigger till your sights are on the target. And rule number 4, never point a gun at anything unless you intend to destroy it. The magic bullets. Ears! Now, Chris, at the beginning of this bit, you shined a bullet and loaded it into that weapon right there. Is that right, Chris?
Yes, sir.
Step up to the yellow line. Don't cross it, just hang 10. Hey, Chris. See a bullet, my teeth?
Yes, sir, I do.
Hold your hand up so I can spit in it. Recognize that bullet, Chris?
Yes, I do.
Is that the one you signed?
Yes, it was.
I'm not sure about forensics, Chris, but has it been through the barrel of a gun?
Yes, it has.
Rifling, powder burn, so
Yes.
on? Stay right there, please, Chris. Now, Dane, beginning of this bit we first met, you signed a bullet. Loaded that weapon right there, is right, Dane?
Yes.
So that yellow line, don't cross it. See a bullet through his teeth?
Yes.
Let's spin your hand, would you please, sir? Sir, do you recognize that bullet, sir?
Yes, I do.
Is that the one you signed, sir?
Yes, it
Has
is.
it been through the barrel of a gun, sir?
Absolutely.
Step over to me, would you please, Dane? Chris, stand. Tell us some loose ends to tie up here. Turning off the laser sight. Opening the cylinder. One case in there. Reach in and pull that out yourself, would you please? Give that a whiff there, Dane. Has that been fired there, Dane?
Yes.
Look to the side of there, Dane.
Lightning bolt.
Who drew that lightning bolt, Dane?
I did.
Reach into there, would you please, Chris? Give that a whiff, Chris. Ah, it's a great smell, isn't it, Chris?
Yes, sir, it is.
Look to the side of there, Chris.
It's the flower I drew.
Flower, you drew. Stand right there, would you please, gentlemen? A couple more things you might be interested in. Now, Dane, without hurting yourself, would you prove to yourself that that bullet hole goes all the way through that piece of glass? Is it all the way through there, Dane?
Yes.
All the way through?
All the way.
Is it all the way through there, Chris?
Yes.
The whole world is now a bullet hole. Chris, Dane, you may keep the bullet, you may keep the shell. Good luck getting those on the airplane. That's Dane. That's Chris.
Wow. Now that is what I call a big finish. Penn and Teller, ladies and gentlemen. That is all the magic we can do in the 1 hour. Join us next week when we do it all again. Good night from Las Vegas, where the party's just getting started. Good night, everybody.